Tonight, this Lake St. Louis man and former church leader is accused of luring a teen from her family and taking her halfway across the country. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve Savard.
And I'm Claire Kellett. Samantha Jones has the night off. 54-year-old Larry Deutsch is accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a 16-year-old and holding on to pornographic pictures of her.
This week, police say Deutsch flew from the St. Louis area to Arizona, where he met up with the victim, and the two drove back together to St. Louis.
But police at this time are very concerned there may be more victims. Russell Kinsall live at the St. Charles County Police Department with information on ways Deutsch had contact with children.
Right now, Deutsch is only charged with child pornography, and police only know of one victim. But I've learned that he had contact with numerous other teens through his involvement with a church in Troy and a church in Delaware. A man who says he's the victim's uncle told me that Deutsch served as a bishop of a Mormon church in Delaware and regularly brought groups of teenage boys to St. Charles County for multi-day bike trips on the Katy Trail. The man said that Deutsch moved to Troy, where he did not hold a leadership role, but he started up that practice of taking boys and girls from the church on bike rides on the Katy Trail. And the uncle says that Deutsch knew the victim's family, but it was through the bike rides that he started to get to know the now 16-year-old and began grooming her 2 to 3 years ago. I asked about Deutsch's laptop that they seized while executing a search warrant at his Lake St. Louis house, if they found any pornographic pictures of other children. And police told me that so far only the photos of the 16-year-old girl, but they're asking anyone who saw or heard him act inappropriately with other children to call police.
They met through church.
Okay. And
Him being a former bishop, he came across as a really nice, good guy.
This individual, we believe, has been basically gaining the trust of this family and this juvenile for a period of 2 to 3 years.
now, according to court documents, Deutsch and the victim had been communicating during the 2-year period that after the family moved from the Troy area to Arizona, and also sending each other nude pictures. In fact, they told people that they planned to get married after she turned 18. Police again asking if anybody knows of him acting inappropriately with any other children, for them to contact police to talk to them about that so they can investigate that. Steve, back to you.
Russell, before we let you go, why do police believe there may be more victims?
Well, he had other contact with teens at his home. Teens regularly met in the basement of his home over a 4-year period because his wife was teaching Mormon religion classes. So there were a lot of kids that came to his home over a 4-year period. And so police are very concerned whether or not he acted inappropriately with any of those students or those teenagers that came to his home. News 4 is continuing to follow the story. We will have more on this coming up on News 4 at 10. Live in O'Fallon, Russell Kinsall, News 4.